6:30 in the morning of the first day of our summer holiday, which is always super exciting. It's hot, like already it's hot in Adelaide. It's getting to 42 today. We did want to free camp tonight, but I'm not free camping at 42 degrees, so we've snuck into the Bend caravan park, and yeah, we're just at that. So much has happened in the last couple of weeks which I haven't got a chance to tell you about. So over the course of vlogs, so I'm going to start doing holiday vlogs again just over the next few weeks. The course of telling you what's been happening with the car, because we've done a whole rear suspension change in the last week to try a few things, and the Navara, that's going through its next stage, so that is getting shipped off very soon. There's lots of stuff to review, like not just with the new caravan as well to talk about. Some new things we've done to the caravan. There's battery stuff to talk about, because there's as just asked Sharon, there's no good Dash family holiday without some sort of battery drama. And reviewing products, so I've got a few things to review along the way. Yeah, the Allens are coming along, and like every holiday, who knows who we're going to bump into. And yeah, it's a whole year. This is our first holiday for the whole year. It's been such a busy year. I can't wait to get away, and I'll show you what we get up to. There's a little hint about what's going on with the battery. But yeah, so I've got someone that specialises in 370Zs that knows a fair bit about the Nissan wiring, to have a bit of a play. So I've got to get that ready to go, and because it's a big lump of metal at the moment, the only way I can get it out of here is to winch it out. So that's what we're doing at the moment. So I've got to get it out ready to pick up, because I'll be away at the time. Oh, straighten up. Alright, through the magic of carbon winch and Sabre recovery gear, the Navara is out the front, and my Ficus isn't looking as good as it used to. I'm about to hook up the van, and if you've been following my social media stuff, I'm trying something different. So as you know, I've had the coil deletes in. They're a really impressive bit of kit, to be honest. But if I talk about the suspension that's been in my car, I started 2 years ago with the on-track 2-inch lift. Brilliant, did LCMP, Fraser Island, all that stuff with that. Came back, swapped over to next suspension was the Smurf suspension, and went out with wobble, and that was the Dash lower control arm lift, but it was just a 1-inch lift. And then we went to the Tough Dog lift. We stopped doing that, by the way, because everyone was getting onto the coil lifts, and that is kind of the way the world has been going. If your mechanic has got the tools to do it, the coil lifts arguably, arguably a better style of lift, especially the Tough Dog, because it only did between 30 and 40 mil lift. You didn't have to use upper control arms. You only sometimes had to use rear caster correction bushes or arms or that sort of thing. And like money to pay off, the coil lifts are the best. But we can't sit around and do the same thing. So then we put in the Dash tow coils. This was probably a good year ago, maybe more. We punched 20,000 Ks onto them, proved that, and that's how they've ended up as a product on your cars. But we wanted to develop a 2-inch lifted tow coil as well. Oh, sorry, we're jumping ahead. After that, we went to the coil delete airbags on the back of the car, and absolutely brilliant. That's when the car was still only about a 30-40 mil lift. It was an impressive bit of kit for that application. We moved on then to get the bigger lift, because that's when the car shows were coming, and I wanted to put the 37s on. So we went back to the on-track lower control arm with the Tough Dog coil on top of it, and that ended up giving me about 85 mil lift. And at the back we used the coil delete and a 23 mil K-frame spacer, and this is where I guess I started to find the limitations of the coil delete. Because you're lifting the car so high now, the stroke length of the shock becomes less, and the K-frame spacers don't help that at all, because the strut is bolted to the body. But the other thing is, the more you open up that gap between the lower control arm and the top upper control arm, it creates like a wedge. So, you know, low applications, no problems, but for lifted applications, I wanted to investigate what else is around, put it that way. So we're back to tow coils. This is the 2-inch lifted tow coil, and I've now put a 40mm K-frame spacer in. And because we like testing stuff, we've got 2 different airbags running. I've got the, if I can open the back with the car running, let's have a look. So on the passenger side, I've got the tried and tested jumbo from Airbag Man, and on the driver's side, we've got this little baby. So this is from another manufacturer we've been talking to, and the big difference, it's the same physical size as a jumbo, but on top, have a look, it's got a screw-in connector. So what we've done is made up some braided lines, 2 meters of braided line going from the airbag on the driver's side up into the car, so we're not going to get any heat effects from the exhaust. It's a positive fixture because it's screwed on, so there's not going to be leaks at the top of the bag. And I'll show you underneath, hang on, it's going to be a little bit loud.
There we go. Can't say I'm not independent. 2 different types of airbags going on there, a bunch of different suspension components,
and exhaust. The big question now is, and this is what I'd love, is to keep that auto leveling stuff going on. So I'll take you inside of the car, because generally what you do when you hook up the van, and that's kind of the next thing I'm about to do. You've got the car, van, need to hook it up. Generally you would pump up the airbags first, drop the van on, and off you go. I've been playing around the last couple of days. It's been working, like the car's sitting nice and level, even ever so slightly raked, but even with these airbags, the bigger ones, and the bull weight of that van, it's only just doing it. So I've let it do its auto level thing, and it probably sits a tiny bit low in the back. So now I'm going to pump it up, and this is, you know, the most convoluted way of doing it, because that's how my life rolls. I'll show you what happens here. We'll shut that up, do that in a minute. We'll jump inside the car where it's cool. It's like 42 degrees here today. Oh, that's better. And so down here I've got a gauge showing what's in them, and it's a tad confused at the moment, probably because I'm on a lean. I've got 29 on one side and 7 on the other side. So now what we can do is get the laptop out. I'm gonna need 2 hands for a second. Let me just pause. There's way too much glare in the front, so I've come to the back seat to do this. Here's the DNA laptop here, so we'll go up to the top. This is what launches the IntelliRide system. So we open it up, we press open, and now that's connecting to the little computer that's under my false floor. That's done. So I can have a look at everything that's happening now. So all the meters I've got by axis off the lower control arm, I can have a look at all that. What the pressures are, all that sort of stuff. I can look at the heights of the vehicle. So it's having a think. Here we go. I don't know whether you can appreciate this. So this is the live heights here. So I'm lower on one side than the other side because I'm on the camber of the road. These are how you set the heights. So I can set the rear at different heights, left and right. Anyway, what I want to do is essentially go to manual mode, enable manual controls. Yeah. And now I can play around with the height, so I can exhaust the whole system, which I'm doing right now. So if I have a look at my gauge in a second, what's that sitting on? 20 and 19 basically. All right, now I'm going to put it up until I don't know if you hear the compy just kicked in. So I want to get it up to that 60, probably 55 psi, and then I'll hitch the van up. Oh, we get out. All right, we'll stop there. Stop there. So when we actually build a system for this, it will be much more less sophisticated, but this is what we're doing now in our testing phase. Yeah, that's sitting good now, high at the back. Now I've just got to lift this up a bit, and this is new. blackjack thing that I've been playing around with. So essentially I just press the button and it jacks up for me, and then we'll back up and get on this DO35, so about there I reckon. Alright, reverse up, hitch up. Oh man, it's so hot. Gone to singlet. Alright, let's have a step back and have a look at this car and van. Alright, eyeballing, I'm pretty happy with that. Van looks pretty level. Maybe ever so slightly up at the front, not much. Car, and this is going to have to settle in because I've only just hooked up, but maybe ever so slightly at the back. And I'll tell you, you see people on Facebook all the time going, yeah, I've just put airbags in, standard coils, sits fine, they sit nice and level. Yeah, my ass. You've actually got to measure it to work it out, because it's hard, unless you're doing this all day every day, it's hard to eyeball it. But yeah, basically measure center of the hub down here to guard, that's your eyebrow height. Do that before you hook the van up, then do it after. If you're within 25 mil, I'd say that's probably acceptable, but the closer to 0 the better. But yeah, all these people taking photos of their cars saying I'm sitting level, I look at them thinking, no you're not, mate. I know I'm kind of having a bit of a rant here, but yeah, don't put airbags in standard Nissan coils. It doesn't work. We've seen them blow up. Don't be one of them. If you've got more than 250 on the ball, you can't really leave it standard height. You probably need to get a stiffer spring, which means you have to raise it. It's just the way it is, I'm sorry. So if you've got Dash or King's standard height coils and you've got a 300 kilo ball, I don't know if I believe you when you say it's sitting level. Now there's a couple of rigs. We'll check out Steve-O's rig, see if that's level as well. Let's have a look at it from the side. Oh yeah. Nice. 2 new vans. 162s, good. Steve, why do we have to keep these cars level when we're towing?
Aerodynamics is amazing. Wheel alignment, 100%. You just got to make sure everything's nice and true so we don't chop out tyres.
Yeah, so basically if they tow in, you'll get bad fuel economy, it won't drive well. If it's sitting up at the front, you won't get good steering. It'll feel like you've got no caster. Safety, that's probably the biggest one. If you're, if you don't have good control of the steering wheel, like traction on the front, you can't steer. Like, what's more important than that?
Another one too, pump up your airbags before you put the ball weight on and then drop it down to the level, because otherwise you fill out your bags in the coil and it won't work and you'll do damage.
That's what I did the second time I put it on.
Yeah, well, I've had a few calls about what way to go about it, so if people don't know, you pump it up first, then put your caravan on.
Yeah. And
let it down to the level you've measured, or leave it if you haven't quite reached it.
I think that might be the Achilles heel of this auto leveling for in-coil airbags, because you can't do that. Oh no, I might be able to program it. I might be able to program it up. Hang on, I've got to think about that one. Alright. Let's get on the road. I think it's about to turn into a Y62 trip. What do we got down the back here? There it is. Let's check out the plates. Might have to run. Hey, tough 62s in the house. There we go, we made it. It was a full-on drive to Tailem Bend because of the heat, essentially. Can't believe it. Like, so Charlie ended up, tough 62 came along too. So, yeah, at the lights, all the cars were overheating. First of all, Steve and I were blaming it on our cars being supercharged with the intercooler in front of it, thinking that was taking away airflow. But to be honest, it's 42 degrees. We're towing heavy vans. I'm pretty sure I'm on my GCM, to be honest. When we were driving, it was fine, and all the temps were okay. But as soon as you're idle, that's when we had the problem. So there's going to be some interesting little campfire chats, not campfire, you know, around the awning chats, I think, about how we can work out a better cooling system, and which has never really been discussed because it's never been a problem. But today at 40 something degrees, it was hot. But anyway, we're at camp, misters are on. that's this video out, but we're going to do more because we have to review. I've got a heap of stuff. I brought all these like little projects. I'm not very good at staying still. So we're going to review all these things along the way, and I'll put them up on YouTube. You can see our summer holiday. Right, thanks for watching. See you next time on YouTube. Yeah.